Kansas medical marijuana bill could pass this week following conference announcement. Thank you, Marijuana Moment.
That's huge news. Kansas, everybody who's there watching from Kansas and waiting for cannabis and medical cannabis in Kansas, I hope that you're smashing those likes right now. So much so that I think you have to do something for us over there in Kansas, and it looks like they may. But I want them to turn Kansas slightly greener. So if you want to check out your state's legalities, and like, for example, we have a lot of content on New Jersey because it just went. So we have all these things. And then New Mexico, we have a lot of content on as well. But if you go to Kansas, sweet baby Jane, there's not even one frickin' nothing. And so now we have something that we can actually put on the map in Kansas because they look like they will be legalizing medical cannabis.
There's a lot of good activists out there in Kansas. Bleeding Heart Kansas is one of the organizations I've been following for years. See, a bill to legalize medical marijuana in Kansas may pass imminently, with key lawmakers from both chambers being appointed on Tuesday to a conference committee where they will be charged with hammering out the details for reform. So this is how shit happens, period.
That's right.
I just wonder do they have any limits? Have they decided what they're negotiating on here?
I don't know. It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, so the latest development is unrelated to Bill SB 12 will be the vehicle for the cannabis legislation. So it's unrelated. So it means there's another bill?
Probably. From what I recall from reading the article previously, has to do with the each bill that they had, and they had competing bills, and they didn't quite match enough, but for whatever reason, under certain Kansas law, if they come out of a committee and they're fairly close, they can still be merged into the same bill. And I'm probably mischaracterizing that, but that's what I read from when scanning that and going like, oh wow, Kansas is getting into it. But it means that after that passes, that'll make some big news, and then we'll really have the specifics as opposed to like the two separate bills that are competing that are getting reconciled. And I really hope that, and I recall scrolling through the list of conditions, PTSD was in there and other chronic conditions. And so that's really a good, it's signaling a fairly open market. But again, why wouldn't you have an open market if you're Kansas? Simply, that's Kansas. If you're Kansas, you have this thing called Oklahoma directly underneath you. And so like, if you have Oklahoma directly underneath you, well, you might as well get some of that border money that you've seen for the past few years, and then pop it right there, because then everybody from Nebraska and Iowa will just be pouring right in, and they don't have to go all the way down to Oklahoma no more. But something else.
But it says it has more than 20 qualifying conditions, so that's a good thing. Like you said, PTSD is one of them, including cancer, glaucoma, your traditional diseases, I hate to say.
Right. And also for any other chronic, debilitating, or terminal condition, in theory, that could be intractable pain for me. And then pain and PTSD are some of the larger catch-alls in patients or qualifying conditions in states that have qualifying conditions, as opposed to just trusting the doctor's recommendation like they do in Oklahoma.
And they're saying a 30-day supply of cannabis is what they're trying to go for. So, and again, they'll probably end up being an amount limit, as they always try to curtail the person's. There's going to be a THC cap though on plant material.
On how much?
35%.
35% THC cap on plant material. I would bet $1 that is everything. And then if somebody goes, oh no, I know about this one strain that tests more than 35%, I would say, well, I will wager that $1. And then after that, we would make sure that we test it a couple of times, because we want a third party, non-biased tester that's doing it. And also we would like to see the inspection of the sample, hopefully like through harvest. So it's not just like, okay, keep it. All right, now go get it tested. Yeah.
Well, and also the methodology too. How are you doing this? How you achieving that number? This would be the 35%. That's a decent cap for flower. I mean, that's
no flower gets that. Like, I don't think most flower touches 30.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's better than the fucking 0.1 for hemp.
Oh yeah. Well, 0.3. It's 0.3.
Yeah. Arbitrary numbers are just dumb shit, man.
Yep.
Oh.
But the hemp number is truly arbitrary, because otherwise it would have been in a ratio. But then they didn't know that when they were making the regulation, because they're stupid and they weren't allowed to research it, which is, again, cripplingly, terribly stupid. And this is federal law that is still on the books.
Again, the bad law that enables
that 92% of people want changed because they believe in medical cannabis, and 70% of people just are like, hey, you're an adult, go ahead and use it.
That's so crazy, man. Dude, your hair's so long.
Yep, it's ridiculous. But it's finally at this place where if they've been watching this, they're going to find out I'm going to have a mullet. So now I have to go book an appointment and get myself a proper mullet, and then I'm closing the company for 2 weeks.